has become a city of smoke and defiance. What began as frustration over disputed election has transformed into a national revolt, a movement now defined by one phrase: Tunatembea, hadi Ikulu. It is October 31st, 2025, and Tanzania's political crisis is deepening. For weeks before the election, tension simmered. Opposition leader Tundu Lissu had been jailed under incitement charges. His party Chadema was barred from the ballot until 2030. ACT was Zalendo's Luhaga Mpina faced disqualification twice. Diaspora Tanzanians held candlelight vigils in the US, sending petitions to the IMF and World Bank, warning against financing oppression. At home, anger grew. Boda drivers protested, bus commuters clashed with police, and activists circulated a 10-point demand list for reforms, free media, a new constitution, and the end of disappearances.
Tunataka serikali ya Tanzania ikome mara moja kutumia vikosi vya usalama kunyamazisha, kugandamiza na kuwaua Watanzania. Ya tatu, tunasema kwamba lazima kuwe na uchunguzi wa wazi kwa yale maovu yaliyotendwa pamoja na mauaji na mengineo.
There have been deaths, abductions. Restore constitutional order in your countries and respect the human rights of your people.
Immediate restoration of internet access and all communication channels to allow citizens, journalists, and human rights defenders to freely share information. 2. Immediate cessation of violence by Tanzanian security forces against unarmed civilians and unconditional release of all detained protesters and political prisoners.
Tanzania was ready to erupt. Election day was anything but peaceful. In Dar es Salaam, crowds flooded Selander Bridge, tearing down Samia Suluhu's campaign banners and setting ablaze police station. Petrol stations burned, tires lined the streets, police responded to tear gas, bullets and curfews. Reports indicated 5 to 10 deaths in Dar es Salaam alone, with both civilians and officers killed. The internet went dark at 6 p.m. sharp.
Those were sham elections. It was Suluhu versus Samia. She was competing with her own shadow. Today, maybe now, it will be coronation saying she has won.
As Tanzania's internet vanished, so did the silence. Protesters turned to Zello, an offline walkie-talkie app, to coordinate movements and share safe routes from Ubongo to Mbagala, from Mwanza to Arusha. The message spread. March to State House, show them the power belongs to the people. Plainclothes officers infiltrated the crowds, tear gas blanketed the streets. Still, groups moved toward Magogoni, the heavily guarded presidential compound. Their chants were raw, angry, and symbolic. In Mwanza, protesters set fire to a government office. In Arusha, students clashed with riot police near City Hall. In Morogoro, traders joined the demonstrations, paralyzing transport routes. Roads leading to Julius Nyerere International Airport were blocked. Long-distance drivers slept on highways as tear gas echoed through the night. By morning, civil servants and students were ordered to stay home. Business in the city center collapsed. The march to State House was no longer just a protest, it had become a movement. With social media restricted, young organizers relied on Zello and Bluetooth drop networks to spread live voice updates. Channels with names like Uhuru Channel, March 25th, and Ikulu Connect guided crowds block by block. The leadership was decentralized, no single figure, no clear command. It was a people's protest, leaderless, but united. The status march was now both a physical act of rebellion and digital symbol of defiance. President Hassan's administration declared a 48-hour curfew in Dar es Salaam, military vehicle patrol Magogoni and Kivukoni Bridge, key routes to the status, helicopters hover low, broadcasting warnings. State media aired patriotic songs and ignored the unrest. Spokespeople dismissed reports of abductions as foreign propaganda. But behind the official narrative, human rights organizations were documenting killings, arrests and torture.
The people of Tanzania have also made their demands very clear. They've posted on X over the past weeks what are their demands, which reinforces the demands for no reform, no election by Tundu Lissu and Chadema party. So there's very clear Tanzanian-led demands which they felt need to be implemented prior to having any free and fair election in Tanzania. And one thing that they've stated is that considering the lack of validity of this government, there should be an immediate transition into an interim government which can implement their demands and the constitutional reforms that are required to be able to proceed with a free and fair election.
Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch both called for immediate investigations.
It is time for the African Union to serve the people of Africa, to stop being a club of leaders clinging to power, and to redirect its energies to helping citizens of Africa.
Tunataka serikali ya Tanzania haraka iwezekanavyo irudishe mitandao katika nchi nzima. Kila Mtanzania ako na haki ya kujielezea, kila Mtanzania ako na haki ya kupata habari, kwa hivyo tunataka haraka iwezekanavyo.
In the streets, a generation that grew up under fear now stood unafraid. Some carried photos of missing activists, others held signs reading "Wenye nchi, wananchi, the country belongs to the people." Diaspora Tanzanians live-streamed vigils from London, Toronto and Washington. The global hashtag campaign, #FreeLissu, no reforms, no election, wenye nchi, wananchi, gained traction even as Tanzania remained offline. The protests were no longer about just one election. They had become a referendum on the future of Tanzania itself. By the morning of March 31st, hundreds of protesters advanced towards Selander Bridge, chanting, drumming and waving torn flags. Security forces blocked access to Magogoni, the road to the State House. Gunfire broke out. At least 7 were injured, according to unverified reports from hospitals in Mbezi and Temeke. But the crowd held its ground, chanting louder, "Ikulu si ya CCM, ni ya Watanzania wote." Even if they could not reach the gates, they had already breached the wall of fear. In a nation that once prided itself on peace, Tanzanians are rewriting their story, from quiet submission to fearless defiance. Even in darkness, their voices carry a single truth: the people will no longer be governed by fear. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Reader, Kering Chubet.